Donald Trump swore he'd make America manufacture again. Steel, cars, copper, all stamped made in the USA. Well, mission accomplished. Everything's still stamped made in China, just with a 20% markup.
Let's talk about who's actually paying for Trump's tariffs, because it sure isn't Beijing. When Trump said China's paying for it, Americans cheered. Then they checked their grocery receipts and stopped cheering. Here's the real breakdown, straight from the data. 22% of the cost gets eaten by American businesses. That's companies taking the hit just to stay competitive. 18% falls on foreign exporters. Not bad, but not exactly the China's footing the bill story we were sold. 5% vanishes through loopholes, evasions, and tax gymnastics. And the remaining 55%? Congratulations, America. That's you. The average consumer footing more than half the tab. That's right. The America First tariff plan turned into a 55% sales tax on being American. Because when you tax imports, those costs don't just disappear. They crawl up the supply chain, hide in price tags, and hit you right in the Costco aisle. It's like lighting your own wallet on fire and calling it patriotism. When the tariffs hit, American companies tried to play hero. They said, "Don't worry, we'll eat the costs." Cute. At first, they trimmed profits, shaved margins, and prayed inflation would calm down. But inflation doesn't do yoga. It doesn't calm down. After a while, the CEOs snapped. They looked at their balance sheets and said, "You know what? Time to pass the pain to the people." And that's exactly what happened. A Harvard research team tracked 350,000 products since the tariffs kicked in. Here's what they found. Imported goods are now 4% more expensive. Domestic goods, 2% higher. Even companies that don't rely on imports jacked up prices, because when your competitors raise prices, you might as well join the party. And the party ballooned straight into inflation. According to Goldman Sachs, Trump's tariffs have already added 0.4% to U.S. inflation and could hit 0.6% next year. Translation: your grocery bill is the collateral damage of a trade war. The Federal Reserve even admitted it. Chair Jerome Powell said tariffs are fueling inflation. So yeah, tariffs didn't just protect American jobs. They protected inflation's right to exist. What Trump sold as a tax on China turned out to be a stealth tax on you. Every tariffed toaster, phone, or car part quietly siphons money from your wallet to the federal illusion of winning. It's not economic patriotism, it's economic self-sabotage, with a flag on top. The U.S. economy isn't collapsing, but it's definitely walking with a limp. Growth for 2025 is projected at 1.8%, which technically isn't a recession. But it's not exactly the big, beautiful boom we were promised either. Economists estimate Trump's tariffs alone have shaved off 0.5 percentage point from economic growth. Sounds tiny, right? 0.5%. Who cares? Well, when your economy is worth $30 trillion, 0.5% equals roughly $150 billion. Gone. That's like taking the entire GDP of Kansas, tossing it in a dumpster, and setting it on fire for patriotic reasons. And here's the kicker. All that pain didn't even fix the trade deficit. Imports are still high, exports are sluggish, and American companies are now paying more for parts made overseas anyway. We didn't rebuild factories, we just rebuilt excuses. So while politicians brag about standing up to China, the economy is quietly kneeling under the weight of its own price tags. It's not a trade war anymore. It's a slow-motion self-own, with a red, white, and blue bow on top. While Americans are paying more at home, they're also losing something priceless abroad: respect. The Henley Passport Index just dropped the U.S. out of the top 10 for the first time ever. We're now sitting at number 12, tied with Malaysia. Nothing against Malaysia, but a decade ago, the U.S. passport was a global VIP pass. Now it's more like a "Sir, please step aside for additional screening" pass. So what happened? The same America First playbook that slapped tariffs on allies and turned trade deals into tantrums also bled into diplomacy. And surprise, the world noticed. Brazil brought back visas for Americans. China opened its borders wider, but not for the U.S. Vietnam followed suit. Even Somalia, yes, Somalia, rolled out a shiny new e-visa system that works for everyone, except Americans. That's like being uninvited from a party you weren't even planning to attend. but still hurts when you see the pictures. This isn't just a travel inconvenience. It's a collapse in soft power, the invisible currency that lets a country influence without invading. The US used to set trends, sign deals, and open doors. Now it's filing visa applications and waiting for callbacks. America First turned out to mean America alone. And when your passport loses power, it's not just about travel. It's a symptom that the world stopped buying what you're selling. In trying to make others pay, America ended up taxing itself. It's the economic version of punching yourself in the face and calling it strategy. Trump's tariffs were supposed to rebuild American industry, bring back the factories, the jobs, the pride. Instead, they brought higher prices, slower growth, and a weaker passport. Imports got pricier, exports got harder, and consumers got poorer. All while politicians patted themselves on the back for protecting the economy. It's the ultimate self-own, an America First plan that made Americans last at the checkout line. The country didn't start making more goods. It just started making more excuses. And as the receipts got longer, the promises got shorter. So yeah, the tariffs worked. They made America manufacture inflation, export frustration, and import regret.